Have you ever stood at the precipice of a dream so vast, so audacious, that the sheer scale of it threatened to swallow you whole? A dream that whispers of a better world, a different future, yet demands a price of admission that few are willing to pay. Relentless, unwavering action, even in the face of impossible odds. Today, I want to tell you a story about such a dream, and the man who, through sheer force of will and an unshakable belief in the power of persistent action, began to build it. This is the journey of Elon Musk, a testament not just to genius, but to the transformative power of doing. Imagine a young boy growing up in a challenging environment where the world outside often felt harsh and unforgiving. This boy, much like many of us, found solace not on the playground, but within the pages of books. For him, the stories weren't just entertainment. They were blueprints, portals to other realities, and windows into the grand tapestry of human potential. He devoured science fiction, philosophy, and engineering texts, not merely absorbing information, but internalizing a profound conviction that the future wasn't something to be passively awaited, but actively built. He saw the world's imperfections, its looming challenges, and a quiet, burning fire ignited within him. A desire to contribute, to innovate, to literally build a better tomorrow. This wasn't a child born into privilege, nor one untouched by hardship. In fact, his early years were marked by significant difficulty, including intense bullying that left deep scars. Yet these trials didn't break him. They forged a resilience that would become his defining characteristic. The isolation he often felt pushed him further into his own mind, where ideas blossomed and visions of groundbreaking technologies took root. He wasn't waiting for permission. He was preparing himself, unknowingly, for a life of relentless creation. He understood, even then, that the greatest changes aren't whispered into existence. They are hammered out with grit, determination, and an almost obsessive focus. As he transitioned from childhood to early adulthood, this intense focus translated into tangible action. He moved to North America, armed with little more than an insatiable curiosity and an iron will. His first ventures, Zip2 and PayPal, weren't born out of a sudden stroke of luck or an effortless display of talent. They were the direct result of an almost superhuman work ethic. Stories abound of him sleeping under his desk, showering at the YMCA, and working around the clock, fueled by caffeine and an unyielding belief in the problems he was solving. He wasn't just building companies, he was building a mindset. He was demonstrating, implicitly, that success isn't just about having a good idea, it's about the obsessive, tireless pursuit of that idea, the willingness to outwork everyone else, and the refusal to let obstacles become excuses. He wasn't waiting for inspiration to strike. He was striking the iron over and over again until inspiration had to yield. The sale of PayPal brought him immense financial success, a fortune that would allow most people to retire comfortably, to pursue hobbies, or to simply enjoy the fruits of their labor. But for Elon, this wasn't an ending, it was a beginning. He stood at another precipice, not of a dream, but of a choice: safety and comfort, or the perilous pursuit of his grandest visions. He chose peril. He chose to risk his entire fortune, every cent he had earned, on industries that many considered not just difficult, but utterly impossible. He looked at the world and saw a future dependent on fossil fuels, a ticking clock for our planet. His solution: electric cars. Not just any electric cars, but vehicles that would outperform, outdesign, and outcompete their gasoline counterparts, forcing an entire industry to rethink its foundations. This vision became Tesla. He looked at humanity's limited reach, our fragile existence confined to a single planet, and envisioned a multi-planetary future. His solution: private rockets, reusable rockets, making space travel affordable and ultimately colonizing Mars. This vision became SpaceX. He saw the vast, untapped potential of the sun and the urgent need for sustainable energy at scale. His solution: solar energy, integrated seamlessly into our homes and infrastructure. This vision became SolarCity. Each of these ventures was a moonshot, a monumental gamble against established giants, against the laws of physics, and against the collective skepticism of the world. Experts scoffed, investors hesitated, friends questioned his sanity. The odds were stacked against him in ways that would make most people recoil in fear, pack up their dreams, and retreat to safety. But Elon Musk wasn't most people. He understood that true progress often lies beyond the comfortable, beyond the conventional, and often beyond what is currently deemed possible. He wasn't afraid to be wrong, but he was terrified of not trying. The journey that followed was not a smooth ascent. It was a brutal, relentless climb, fraught with unimaginable challenges. Both Tesla and SpaceX faced countless failures, each one a potential death blow. Rockets exploded, turning millions of dollars into fiery debris. Production lines stalled, threatening to bankrupt the fledgling car company. The financial crisis of 2008 hit, pushing both companies to the brink of collapse, mere hours away from insolvency. The media painted him as a madman, a fool, a charlatan. The pressure was immense, the criticism deafening, the exhaustion bone deep. Imagine the weight of that responsibility. Having risked everything, seeing your dreams crumble before your eyes, facing public ridicule, and knowing that hundreds, if not thousands of livelihoods depended on your ability to pull a miracle out of thin air. Most people, at this point, would have given up. They would have cut their losses, declared bankruptcy, and retreated to lick their wounds, perhaps even justified in doing so. But Musk refused. He refused to give up. He stood firm even when the ground beneath him was crumbling. He personally invested the last of his remaining fortune, borrowing money from friends, pushing himself and his teams to work harder, smarter, and with an almost fanatical dedication to solving the seemingly insurmountable problems. He wasn't just building companies. He was building a mindset. He was demonstrating, implicitly, that success isn't just about having a good idea. It's about the obsessive, tireless pursuit of that idea, the willingness to outwork everyone else, and the refusal to let obstacles become excuses. He wasn't waiting for inspiration to strike. He was striking the iron over and over again until inspiration had to yield. This brings us to the true differentiator, the core lesson embedded within Elon Musk's extraordinary journey. It's not just his intelligence, though that is undeniable. It's not just his vision, though that is profoundly inspiring. His true differentiator lies in his willingness to act and work relentlessly, even when fearful, exhausted, or uncertain. He doesn't wait to feel ready. He doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He doesn't wait for the fear to subside or the certainty to solidify. He acts. He takes consistent, persistent action, pushing forward despite the internal resistance, despite the external skepticism, despite the overwhelming odds. How many times have we ourselves had brilliant ideas, world-changing concepts, or even simple personal goals, only to let them languish because we weren't sure, we weren't ready, we were afraid of failure, or we simply didn't feel like starting? We wait for motivation to strike like lightning, for inspiration to sweep us off our feet, for the path ahead to be perfectly clear. But the truth is, motivation often follows action. Inspiration is often a byproduct of effort, and the path ahead only reveals itself one step at a time. Elon Musk's life is a living, breathing testament to this principle. He embodies the idea that dreams don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be fully formed, meticulously planned, or universally approved. They just need you to start. They just need you to take that first, terrifying step, and then the next, and the next, with unwavering consistency. The journey will be messy. It will be riddled with mistakes, setbacks, and moments of profound doubt. You will face criticism, ridicule, and moments where giving up seems like the only logical choice. But it is in those moments, when you choose to push through, when you choose action over inertia, the true progress is made, and impossible dreams begin to materialize. So what is the lesson for us, standing here today? It is this: stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop seeking perfection before you begin. Your dream, whatever its size or scope, doesn't need to be flawless. It just needs you to begin. It needs your persistent action, your willingness to learn from failure, your resilience in the face of adversity, and your unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future. The world isn't changed by those who dream perfectly, but by those who dare to build imperfectly, one relentless action at a time. Go forth, begin, and build. Your future, and perhaps even the future of the world, depends on it.